Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Megan.
I'm Matt.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Mimi.
I'm Tracy.
I'm Grandpa.
I'm Daniel.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
Girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Do you want me to bring you any snacks today or no snacks? I don't know what that meant. Okay, we're bringing snacks this morning. Good morning, everybody. So nice to see you. Welcome back. We are getting ready to go to work. Kelly and I are getting everything put together. We got to put our shoes on, got to put our jackets on, and then we're good to go. This foot, is this the right foot?
Right foot.
Yeah?
So hot.
It's cold outside.
It's cold side. Snowing.
No snow this morning. Boy, it is chillier than I thought it was gonna be today. Oh. Hey, baby, are you ready to go to work?
Okay.
Man, I wish everybody was so excited to go to work today. I mean, I'm usually pretty excited, but Callie, she is very, very excited. Come on, it's cold. Get inside. You can't? We can't. Now, Callie and I arrived a few minutes late, but Aunt Rhonda and Matthew got the farm market all set up. Everything pulled out of the cooler. Aunt Rhonda right now is going through the inventory and filling some things up. A bulk of what we're bringing out now is apples. Many people are making all different types of apple pies, and this is usually when the storage apples really start to sell. Not only do we have that, but we have all the other freshest produce we can get, and we still have our potatoes, which is nice. With the holiday coming up, a lot of people are gonna be wanting hams, so we have been getting hams in. And let me tell you, there's a lot of ham. There's a lot back here, and then all these boxes, they're hams. So yeah, right now we're kind of in like a slow period, kind of easy, not too much going on, but it's gonna change here shortly. Now, yesterday we also had a big job going on, making cookies. Now, I wasn't filming for making cookies, but I also wasn't here for making cookies. What are you making right here? Nut roll. Yep. Oh my word. Look at all that nut roll material. What was I saying? Cookies. Yeah, cookies. I think we got Daniel back here working on cookies. Oh yeah, here he is. He's got some strawberry thumbprints that he is bagging up. And then we also have some Italian cookies that he's bagging up. How did making cookies go yesterday?
I worked so hard and everybody else just stayed in the kitchen.
What? Well, that's where the making cookies is, isn't it? In the kitchen?
No, the making cookies is when you take them off the tray. You have to let them cool enough, then you can put them into the bag. And then you have to carry all the bags and trays of cookies all the way out into the store. And you have to have enough room and go fast enough to keep up with the guys making cookies. So all the work happens back here.
Well, isn't that something? Dad just got back from the wholesaler, so currently we are working on getting everything pulled out of the van. You got quite a bit of stuff fit in that van, Dad. We must have a lot of orders. I mean, this thing was filled to the brim.
Well, you always get a full load. You never come back half full.
So for the things that we did not have in our cooler, we're just gonna be getting all that filled up. Not only do we need to fill up our own farm market, but there's restaurants that have ordered things. I was asking around, and they said this time of the year, it's actually not as busy, and I would have thought otherwise. I thought people would be going out for the holidays, but they told me no, this is actually a little bit of a slow time. But even though it's a slow time, they still need certain sets of produce, so we're gonna take care of them. Look at all those green bananas up there. Whoo, beautiful. So we've got Matthew over here. He's getting an order put together. We've got an order right over here in this cart and also that box of bananas. And if I were to go into the cooler, I'm sure I could find there it is, the other order that we have. This thing being completely full of, what do we got here? Celery, lettuce, a little bit of cabbage, looks good. I had a lot of people asking me about the side-by-side. Matthew just asked which tire it was because I must have done a really good job there. This was the tire that was flat. We got it patched up. We got a plug put in there, and now it's fine. And hopefully later on today, I'll get to it, but I actually bought a windshield for this, which will be hopeful driving it around in wintertime.
You should have brought it with you.
I know, I left it at home and my plan was to bring it this morning.
Now you're gonna have to drive this down there with no windshield to get your windshield. And the whole time you're gonna be wishing you had a windshield so the wind wasn't hitting you in the face.
Is that what a windshield does? A windshield stops the wind from hitting you in the face?
I think that's what it's supposed to do.
Man, I wish I had a windshield on this.
It also keeps bugs from smacking you in the mouth while you're driving down the road.
I've been hit by a big old June bug one time. It was not fun. Hit me right in the chest. Thought I was gonna lose my oxygen. So anyway, the real reason that we needed the side-by-side this morning was because we have an order for potatoes, and Matthew is gonna use the side-by-side to take them upstairs. It's a lot easier that way as opposed to carrying them all up. Good morning, chickens. Nice to see you. There you go. We only needed to move one tractor out of the way. I think the 120 will be fine staying just there. So we've got an entire bin filled of washed red potatoes, and we got a little over a half a bin of white. Now for the order this morning, white is what we need to bag up, and we need 15 10-pounders. So it's a lot of potatoes. Now we grade our potatoes like 3 different sizes. The smaller ones are called creamers. Then we have just basically a regular sized potato. But then all the larger potatoes are called chefs. So for the most part with our 10-pound bags, we don't try and put too many chefs in there because you'll only get like 10 potatoes in one bag. So what we like to do with the chefs is pull them out and put them in baskets. And if any restaurants or anybody orders chef potatoes in particular, well, we have them ready and available. Not that we won't give large potatoes to some customers, but especially with the 10-pound bags, nobody just wants 10 potatoes in there. And I know what you're thinking, 10 pounds is 10 pounds. What's the difference? Believe me, to some of these older ladies that you run into, they do not want 10 large potatoes like that. Most of the people in this area have places to store potatoes where it's nice and cool. So you will get customers that will buy 10 or 50-pound bags. They'll leave them somewhere and then they'll just use the potatoes as they need. And if you have a small family, well, you don't really need these larger potatoes at every meal. Some people like to use the smaller ones. Now we've dealt with that situation in the past, so when we're doing our 10-pound bags in particular, we try not to put too large of potatoes in there. Occasionally you will have one sneak by, but it's okay. Everybody likes a giant potato every now and then. It's funny how every time you're filling up 10-pound bags of potatoes, it becomes like a little competition. We've been doing it ever since we were little, who can get the closest to the desired weight. We like to do a little bit over 10 pounds, so 10.5 pounds, 10.25. We take into account the bag weight, but we also like to give a little extra just in case. So you try and get close to the desired number as possible. And I'll tell you what, it feels really, really good when you get to the exact number you need. It's like, ooh, I'm a professional bag filler of potatoes. At some point today, we're gonna need to bag up more potatoes, so I'm just gonna shut this tractor off and leave it out here. If it was raining, I probably wouldn't wanna do this, but we don't gotta worry about the rain. We're gonna be fine. Even though we're not gonna park that tractor back in there, I'm just gonna close that door. It is kind of cold out here, and I don't want anything happening to those potatoes. It looks like we've got Daniel in here. He has just got started on collecting eggs, and since Daniel is collecting eggs, I'm gonna feed the chickens. Some eggs. Here you go. Looks like we only needed 1 bucket full of feed for these chickens. Those stand-up feeders, they hold quite a bit. Just every once in a while we gotta shake them because this feed is on the finer side and it won't fall down. I just heard the skid steer loader go zooming out the path. It sounds like Dad's running up to grab silage. Daniel had already got the eggs collected in the newer hens, so now I'm gonna help him get the eggs collected in these older hens. On a cold day, it sure feels good to put your hands under some chickens. I bet you that's something you didn't expect you were gonna hear today. I'm telling you, every farmer on a cold day, you go in, you put your hands under those chickens. Ooh, it's like a hand warmer. Takes a little longer to collect eggs on those days. But enough about the warm underside of a chicken. We're gonna get some grain for these cattle. want to get in Dad's way while he's dumping silage, so we're just gonna wait here for a minute, and then once he's finished, we'll dump the grain in. Don't look at me like that. I know you want your grain, but I gotta wait until Dad gets back with the silage. I don't want to get in trouble. After we get done feeding silage, we like to scrape everything flat to get the ruts out. Another reason why we like to do that is because if this ground freezes, all those ruts and those lumps make it very difficult to walk around down here, and there's a higher chance of rolling an ankle or hurting yourself. So we try and keep everything flat, and in that case, nobody hurts themselves, or I should say, has a less chance of hurting themselves. It's just one of those things we try and do to make life a little bit easier on each and every one of us. Uh-oh, we got cows running everywhere out here. Boy, they are beautiful. These were some of those larger calves that we had in greenhouse number 5. By the looks of them, they're a lot bigger than we had originally thought. So it's time for them to come out to pasture ground. Beautiful. With Dad dumping in the last bit of that grain there, animals are now finished for the morning. I'll take you over to the cafeteria. I want to show you how much that has opened up the pen moving those cattle out. Hey kitty, good morning. Check that out. It's like completely different space. All this open room. Oh, I think I was wrong. Dad did not feed all the calves yet. We still have a few guys back here looking for milk. Hey, and a new baby. Look at you. You call you crazy eyes. Look at you. Whoa. They all look really, really nice back here. I tell you what, the temperature difference between in here and outside, big deal. But probably the most important factor is there's no wind in here. When we open up that front door, you'll get a slight breeze, but it is not bad at all. Well, everyone, it's been a good morning so far. I tell you what, all the animals look really, really good. And that's all we can ask for, especially with this colder, wet weather. We've had snow the past 2 days. It hasn't been cold enough to have it stay around, but it has covered everything with like a film of slop. Yeah, you know, we love our slop around here. Thankfully, all the animals don't seem to mind it. We don't seem to mind it too much. The only issue is if you go down a few inches, the layer below is frozen. There's a good chance you could slip and fall. So you gotta be careful when you're walking. But we've never slipped and fell on this channel before, never. So we don't have to worry about that. I came back over into the cafeteria. Dad just gave the calves their milk. We are gonna be moving these 3 first calves over into this larger pen. This is about the size we start moving calves over into these larger pens. And with the grain that we've been feeding, they grow very fast. So we're not too worried about them with their diets. They've been eating grain now for a very long time. And it's time. Look at them. They're big boys and girls. They're ready. Keep going. Over here. Go in there. There you go. Good boy. Oh, oh. Look at that energy. Yeah, run around. Woohoo! Now with these new calves that we put in here, in about 8 weeks, they'll be as large as the ones we just moved out. These animals grow so fast. We're doing a little brainstorming about barns. So we're barnstorming. We're discussing which way we want our addition that we're gonna put on here to run. And we're discussing if we wanna move it up a little bit higher to give us some more room. We're just discussing cost. We're discussing ideas. Just trying to make sure that everything works out well. We're thinking this is gonna be moved here. We'll do something else with it, but we're gonna move this, move it up higher and bring it down a little bit further. Daniel was just telling me we got a big order for potatoes later on in the week, so we are gonna need to do some washing. We still have, I don't know how many bags in this bin, but we'll go through that pretty quickly. We're definitely gonna need more bins. The potatoes that we've had stored, we've been moving through pretty quickly actually, which is good for us. The less time they are in our storage, there's less chance that we could have at losing potatoes. But we have all those stacks of potatoes there, and then we have a few more bins. So our next job now is bagging more potatoes. I know, you're excited. This whole day is just gonna be incorporated with a lot of potatoes. Once we got that bin emptied of all the potatoes that we had, we got right into washing potatoes. Now, an important thing to remember with washing potatoes is we don't want to go too fast. If we go too fast, it won't give each potato enough time in the washer to clean, because if we don't give each potato enough time to clean, they're gonna come out muddy on the other side, or there'll be dirt clumps on them, and we don't want that. We just had a little problem. Our whole system shut down. I don't know, it was an electrical issue somewhere. We went upstairs and we're flipping breakers and it just started working. So, I don't know, your guess is as good as mine. We have this entire hopper filled. I don't think it'll all fit into 2 bins. That hopper is pretty large. We're gonna try and get it emptied out as much as we can. I think it's gonna fill 3 bins. We don't really need 3 bins filled at one time. These potatoes do not keep as long when they're washed as opposed to when they're stored dirty. So we don't wanna wash too many of them. Look at her. She knows what's about to happen. Don't you, girl? Relax, I'm getting it. Down here, more potatoes down here. Now that we've got our bin all filled, we need to get this moved out of the way. And then we have another empty bin right over here that we're also gonna be filling up. Just brought over another basket full of potatoes. All the cattle are excited about it. I've mentioned this before, but this does seem to be their favorite snack. They love a good potato. For this year, tomatoes were very popular. I'd say tomatoes are a number 2 to the potato. First bin has now been all washed and put into place. We just took our second bin over there now. So once we get the second bin filled, we'll be good. The order that we need for the end of the week is 25 50-pound bags of potatoes. That's a lot of potatoes. If we can keep moving 25 bags a week for that order, that'll be a good thing. So we need to make sure we have plenty of potatoes to bag for the order, which is why we're working on washing right now. This is the second bin of potatoes, now completely washed. We're just gonna move it over here so that it's out of the way. Before we can bag them up though, we have to let them dry. If we put them in the bag wet like this, then it's gonna eventually tear the bag, make the bag soggy. It is now lunchtime on the farm. It looks like we are having ham sandwiches. Callie is having some noodles. And then I don't think we're gonna get any of it, but look at all that nut roll. It is still chilly out here. I have to take Callie home. It is almost nap time. So yeah, that's probably not gonna be fun. She likes staying here at the store. So I'm heading over there to drop her off. And then for the afternoon, I'm not sure what we have going on. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but we'll find out. I just got back from dropping off Callie. I helped Lauren out with a few things at home. I try and help her out as much as I can. I don't like her doing too much, especially carrying all those babies around. I got back in time just to help Matthew out with something cool. He is working on grinding up some horseradish. It looks like he's doing a good job of getting the root peeled up. I'm just gonna help him finish up here. So Matthew was down here getting started already. You can see he's been peeling off the outside bark. There's a few different ways you can do this. I like using a regular peeler and just go down along the vegetable. The only problem with using a peeler is it puts off a lot of the fumes that can come from this horseradish, and it can cause your eyes to burn. So that's the only issue with using a peeler. If it starts to get too bad, I will switch over to the knife. But for now, it's doing a good job at cleaning it up. I guess I'm going to the knife now. Matthew and I have been making some good progress. We have peeled quite a bit of horseradish. We still have some more upstairs. Now for our grinder, the biggest thing we don't want to happen is for it to get clogged. That's never fun. So what we have to do is cut up our pieces of horseradish into smaller sections because it's very fibrous and it will actually just lock up the grinder. So we don't want it to do that. We want the pieces to be smaller because it's painful to the eyes to unclog a grinder full of horseradish. So I'm just gonna start cutting these pieces up and filling up our tote. Well, everything has gone pretty well. We cried a little bit. We got all of our horseradish now chopped up. I don't think we're going to be grinding today, but it is ready. So all we have to do to finish off down here now is get our table cleaned up, get all our utensils cleaned, and then we're good to go. Well, I just took the time to do something pretty neat. I put a windshield on my side-by-side. I think that looks pretty good. Now this is nice. Riding behind this windshield, it's a lot warmer than it normally would have been. That looks pretty good on there. My biggest concern is gonna be keeping it clean, but I mean, you're on the farm. That's never gonna happen. Anyway, it's feeding time. So Daniel and I are getting the animals taken care of. I believe he's doing the calves for Dad, and I am gonna get the rest of the cattle fed. I'm sure they wouldn't mind getting a few more potatoes tonight, but it's not gonna happen. All the grain has now been dumped in for the animals. Daniel's got the calves all taken care of. So that means animals are done for the night, and that should basically finish up the day. Riding on that side-by-side is so much nicer with that window on it. This is something to come home to. What happened? Did you fall down? Oh no! I am now home. Lauren and I are getting ready to make dinner. How you feeling today, hun?
Feeling a little better. Still a little congested.
Feeling super pregnant still?
Oh, no,
Yes.
Yeah, there's babies in there. But anyway, it is Taco Tuesday. Lauren and I are making tacos tonight. Are you still laying on the floor?
No, here.
You can't get up?
Oh, yeah.
She fell down, so we don't know what to do. Are you gonna get up, or do I need to get you up?
Me.
No, I can't.
Okay. Tickle, 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 tickle. So since we're gonna get ready to have some dinner here, Lauren and I are gonna be making tacos. That means this is where we're gonna end the video today. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.